Sounds like a Transformer villain.
Omicron.
Omicron.
What does he transform into?
It's like his name is Kron, and he's saying Omicron.
Like a PT Cruiser.
A Crossfire.
He can't be a car if he's a bad guy.
Oh. Okay, what would he be then?
The Wright brothers plane.
It's like one of those hover boats.
It's gotta be something broken.
No, he turns into a
Half a car.
Segway.
Segway. That's perfect. Yes. That one wins.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
And he's got a little Swedish accent. Omicron.
Hello, it's me, Omicron.
Nobody wants you here, bud. Go home.
Go on, dude.
Can I just say that is like the worst thing that anybody can say? Hey, bud. What are you doing, bud? Like, whenever you're writing a comment and they're like, nice try, bud. And I ain't your bud. Don't bud me.
It depends on the person.
Oh, that
Don't
drives
call
me
me
insane.
bud, pal.
I bud people.
See, but it's okay.
It's selective.
But you just said it wasn't okay.
No, but like
All right, pal.
when you got some random person saying it.
Like I'll
And
say
then
it.
they're
I'll
like,
say
hey,
it
bud.
to my buds.
Yeah.
Like, hey, bud.
Like, I'm okay with that. Like, you called me buddy
bud.
earlier when you were texting me. I'm okay
Yeah.
with that.
Call him Chief.
My sister.
I'm okay
All
with
right,
Chief.
Chief.
I like Scout.
All right, Lord. What is it? Gaylord?
Gaylord. I'm going to put the kibosh
Gaylord
on this
Fokker.
right now.
I got nipples, Fokker.
Right,
Can you milk me?
Gaylord.
Someone bring us in.
Oh, we're in here. I'm ready to
We've
go.
been rolling.
I
been
know,
rolling.
but
Cam's already
This is the
deep
thing
in.
is I like the conversation to just naturally go
Yeah.
like it has.
And you
They
And
always,
then
they
I
always
bring it
cut
in,
you
but you
short.
two always
then
get
you're-
real jumpy.
kick her in the pussy.
And you get all antsy.
What do you mean we get all jumpy? What are you talking about?
Are you gonna bring us in,
Are
Cam?
we going to start? Yes.
You gonna
In like-
introduce
you know what?
everybody?
and then
What's my name?
My sex life. My sex life is the same way, honestly.
He gets all antsy.
A lot of foreplay. And it's like, hey, is this going anywhere?
The best part is I'm always ready, like literally, to do it.
oh, you get
And you
foreplay.
ask right before.
Hey, it wasn't me this time.
I feel like that right there, like, isn't it as a stereotype, they think men don't like foreplay, they just want to get right to sex?
That's another excuse.
I like
Foreplay
foreplay.
is great.
It's not a
so much
stereotype.
fun.
I'm not a fan.
A foreplay?
Yeah. Get in, get done. Let's just get this thing over with.
You're an animal. me man, we go there.
That explains a lot.
I'm gonna say that next time.
Yep. Oh, welcome back to Finds a Crowd. Hopefully, maybe you're joining us here in the Metaverse. Who knows? Because that's going to be a thing. We'll talk about it. Don't you worry about it.
Meta.
But here we are. You got me, myself, Cam. You got Chris,
Hello.
Austin,
Hello.
Tony, and
Hello.
Zach.
Hola.
Ring-a-ding, jingling, belling over there with
right.
his sweet little Santa hat.
Christmas time.
Oh, it says university. I said it. I thought it said anniversary. I was like, somebody can't spell.
It's the University of Utah.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I know, right?
You.
Beautiful. But today we thought it prudent to talk about some current events. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world today, my friends. A lot of stuff.
Like what?
Christmas.
Christmas is right up
I'm
around the
wearing my
bend.
Santa hat.
Yep. Because I don't know if Santa's a Utes fan though.
Oh, he is.
you
He wears
sure?
all red. Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
He was wearing red though before they existed.
Did you know that in the Bible it says Jesus is a UVU fan as well?
I disagree.
No, because in the Bible it says when he returns, he's going to be coming back wearing all red.
That doesn't mean anything.
That means he's a Utah fan.
red is used in other places.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Oh god.
And there's the reach.
Thank you.
It's actually funny. Next to that verse in my Bible, I actually have written "Go Utes."
Oh my gosh. That might be sacrilege.
No, it's not. It's good.
Oh my gosh.
I did. I highlighted it in red and I wrote "Go Utes."
When?
Seminary.
What do you mean when?
Was it
When
in
did you do
seminary?
this?
It's
Yeah.
probably
When I first, it was Yeah, probably
like
about
3 days
seminary.
ago.
No.
Because I could kind of get it if it's like 9th grade, high school, seminary.
Oh, no. It was like a senior year of high school or later. I might have even been married at the time.
You really shouldn't be proud of this.
Oh,
Is
I'm
what
proud
we're
of
getting
it.
at.
No, I'm proud of it.
Have you met Zach? He's a special boy.
In fact, we were at church on Sunday, and this is how I remembered it because they had actually talked about it in because we're primary teachers, so they had talked about it in primary. And I leaned over to Katie and I said, "That means Jesus is a Utah fan," and she just starts laughing. We get in the hallway, and Kara's down the hall, and she goes, "Mom, did you know Jesus is a Utah fan?" A couple people turn around and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Well, they said when he comes back, he's going to be wearing red." And half these people are like, "Oh, geez."
Well, it's because they're all BYU fans,
Well,
right?
yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. You got a big culture of that here.
I know.
It's true, right?
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. More. Well played, sir.
Well played. So I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on the metaverse.
It sounds like something out of a comic.
Is it
Okay.
Facebook with their new name change to Meta?
Well, Facebook, they did change their name to Meta, and it's with the goal of progressing the metaverse. They didn't make up the metaverse.
They're trying to make
Is it like
a whole online world, aren't they? Isn't that what it is?
So what are they going
That's
to
all I
play
know.
nice with everybody else?
It's Facebook. What do you think?
No.
Probably not.
Yeah,
is it-
probably not.
Is it going to be like the Oasis in Ready Player One?
That's where my head goes.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
If it's Facebook running it, it's going to be crap.
I mean,
It's going to be more like Free Guy. Like,
like straight up, like I wouldn't be surprised if somehow they end up just like owning us.
They pretty much already
You know what I
do.
mean? Like
They take all your data. I
Like
mean,
they're
all
gonna
of it.
have all your data. Like in who knows if the metaverse is like the next step in technology and everything. Like you will literally own like real estate in the metaverse. You'll own physical digital objects.
That's so stupid. That's what NFTs are, aren't they?
Basically,
Yeah.
NFTs are kind of setting up for the metaverse.
what's an NFT?
The NFT stands for non-fungible token.
I think we went
Basically,
over this
Oh.
before.
It's
Yeah,
it's
like
essentially
Bitcoin
like
and stuff.
Yeah.
it's on the same blockchain technology as like Bitcoin, mostly built on Ethereum right now. But it's basically it's a digital piece of art or a digital thing
That only you have.
that only you have. There's only one in existence. It's unique.
False. I've screenshotted them all.
See, that's the thing. That's where we get
I
into a
own
weird
them
area.
now. They're
Right?
on my phone. I've
Right?
screenshotted
But
your
see,
NFT.
people have also made the argument though. It's like if you take a picture of the Mona Lisa, you don't own the Mona Lisa. You have a picture of it, but
Yeah.
you don't own the actual Mona Lisa.
But we're talking about a thing that doesn't physically exist.
It's weird. That's,
You know,
It's
my
like
head.
coding.
My head doesn't get it.
You know, working
It's
for
weird.
a credit union, I think that all the time with bank accounts. It's like, it's really just numbers on a screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, what would happen if I just put a couple more zeros in there? Why is that so bad?
right? Or hit delete.
Oh, really?
Like,
Or move.
oh, you're rich? Now I'm rich.
See how that happened? But yeah, dude. I mean, when's the last time you saw a gold bar?
In a movie?
Exactly.
Actually-
We all pretend that our money's backed by something. Or a
It's
piece of
not.
paper.
Right?
Yeah, what's it all backed by now? We've been printing so
a
much
note.
money in the last
Currency's just a note.
few years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's an
but that's the
IOU.
thing, and that's what's kind of weird about like cryptocurrency and stuff is it has value because we all agree that it has value.
Isn't it just it's an algorithm that doesn't do anything, right? It's just there for the purpose of saying it has value, right?
It's like it's
Talking
an-
about the
the
Cryptocurrency.
actual cryptocurrency.
Oh.
It's
well,
weird to me.
I don't fully understand it.
Me neither.
I don't really understand the hype behind it. I think it's just people that love
something new.
those. I think it's just people that love those get rich quick plans. Like,
like
oh, if I jump on board real fast, I could be one of those that makes millions. And it's like, you're probably going to be the one that loses money.
See, and that's the thing is,
yeah.
some people will make millions on this, but they're making it from those other people.
Yeah.
It's so big right now that they actually just changed the name of the Staples Center in LA to the cryptocurrency.com arena.
Oh,
Or something like that.
Crypto.com.
Is it crypto.com arena?
Really?
Yep. It's no longer the Staples Center.
Well, because they don't make staples anymore.
One of my regrets.
Because I'm the only person using paper.
Yeah, you don't need physical staples anymore. It's
true.
Just,
It's true.
get your NFTs and documents sent over in the
Your
metaverse.
cryptos and
8-bit. What is it? Is that what that is?
that was an NFT.
Well, you want to know what's funny is if you think about it, the metaverse really isn't all that different than the Matrix.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's where I go
100%.
to.
It's another step closer.
Yeah.
so you're taking the
Crazy.
red pill or blue pill then?
I
The
don't
red pill
remember-
gets you out of it.
No. Oh wait, yeah, the red pill does get you out of
Yeah.
all the.
So
yeah.
do you want to be in the metaverse or do you want to be out of it?
I want to be out of it.
See, and that's the thing though, is you got to think,
I want to be
what are the
one.
repercussions of it? Like we already have a generation of kids that have grown up more involved in technology than the rest of us. And we've already seen what it kind of is doing to them.
Yeah.
Like look at Gen Z.
Yeah.
Who's that?
It's
Oh,
like our kids. Actually, I don't even think it's
thought-
our kids. It's
Born in 2000, isn't it?
Pull it up.
yeah. Let me look at. I'm trying to think.
Technically,
what it is.
we
Because
are
now Gen
millennials,
Alpha is
Yeah,
the
we are.
newest one.
which I hate.
We barely
wanna be a
made the cut
millennial.
into millennials,
Why?
which is
Because millennials got a bad rap
They
for a
do
long
have a
time.
really bad rap.
Yeah. But
Yeah, millennials are
I'd be more than
81 to
I'd like to be more
96.
Gen X.
but you're all right.
So Gen Z is 97
Right,
to 2012.
oh okay.
Gen Z's what?
97 and 2012.
Okay.
What's
So
2012 and
something
later?
like- I'm pretty sure they're going to be calling it Gen Alpha.
That makes no sense.
It starts the alphabet over again.
Oh.
Because millennials were called Generation Y for a long time.
Yes.
Remember?
Yeah.
Because it went Gen X,
Gen Y.
Gen Y, and then it changed to millennials,
Got you.
and then Gen Z.
Oh, now it makes a lot of sense.
But I mean, like, dude, Gen Z is just wild. They don't care about stuff. They're just crazy people.
It's so true. We got a lot of them working for us right now at Red Bull. And the way that some of these kids do things, like they just don't have a care in the world. Like the boss is like, hey man, if we don't push these numbers, we're not going to get our big quarterly bonus. And they're like, okay.
Right. Like,
And
straight
I'm
up.
looking at it going, whoa, wait a second. Don't just say okay. That's like a good $1,200. And they're like, we'll get the $1,200 some else. You know, some other way.
I
I'll
hate.
sell my
Whoa.
NFT, bro.
I'm going to
Yeah.
be the optimistic one here, though.
Huh?
Our parents and our parents before our parents were saying the same thing about us.
Oh, of course.
Everybody.
True.
Oh, yeah.
So they just haven't had a taste of what real life is like yet, and they're getting out into the real world, and they're understanding. I think a lot of them will come to understanding of what's going on.
Haven't they said that this new generation, though, like they don't want to have kids? A lot of them are getting fixed and snipped before even having kids.
Well, that's
And
that's
so-
starting in the millennials.
What did you say?
Fixed. They're
I
getting
said
fixed.
good.
They're getting spayed and neutered.
No, I mean, on a realistic
Bob Barker
standpoint,
effect.
though, if you consider the fact of what they would have to bring a kid into, that's really tough, man. Like
Yeah.
a lot of Gen Zers can't even afford a house right now.
It's true.
It's sad but true, right?
Well,
Yeah.
they did studies, and we're not even replacing our population right now.
Well, yeah.
In
So
America.
millennials are the primary ones driving the not wanting to have kids. So they're not even and the ones that are having kids are not having enough kids.
Well, and
You're supposed to have at least two
Yeah.
to just replace you.
it's getting so bad that in China they now actually allowed you to start having 2 kids.
Magical. They
You
got
know that
enough.
was a thing, right?
You got enough.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
only were allowed to have
Yeah,
one.
they're only allowed to have one. They are allowed to have 2 kids now.
Yeah.
So, because their population is going down so quickly.
I don't know if that's a bad thing.
I mean, China's a scary place.
Well, I just mean worldwide.
Well, no,
I don't
it's-
even mean just
It's
China.
not a bad thing. There's a lot of population right now.
That's why they. Never mind.
You
That's why they what?
Were you going to talk about Thanos?
No, that's why they created coronavirus, population control.
Yeah!
Demonetized.
We got him!
Ah, there we go.
They're starting to lighten it
We
up to that
lasted,
theory
15 minutes?
now. Just because of proof.
Only because it's
Just
been
the
proven.
proof. So
I was one of the early adopters of that theory.
Yeah. I still don't know what to think about that. Not that I want to dive heavy into coronavirus, but the pure fact that they came out and said they're not going to release any information on the vaccines for 55 years. What?
Yup.
So, real quick, now that we've been demonetized, if you would like to support us in any way, shape, or form,
We were demonetized as soon as we said, welcome to Fives of Crap.
Yeah.
these guys again.
They're out to get us. We'll have our day. One day. But no, back on all of that, like, I honestly am afraid of the metaverse in that seeing what technology is doing to children right now.
As far as like
I work with people who are straight up like out ready to like do work and stuff, and they got like fidget spinners in their hands, like little cubes, and like what are you doing with that? They're like, oh, I need it so I can so I can focus and like not like
you know what? I
let
think
my
a lot of that's
anxiety,
just
and I'm
all
like
in your head.
a lot more.
I'm like, I know people suffer from anxiety, and I know it's difficult, but
yes.
like I feel like it's more rampant now. Like so many more younger people are having issues with it than ever before.
But do they really have anxiety, or is it just because it's cool to have anxiety?
And where do they say it's cool to have it?
The
on
internet.
social media.
Exactly.
Social media,
So
the
that's what
internet.
I'm saying is those are the effects that we're seeing right now from the technology on kids.
I mean, if they go look at WebMD, they're already dead. So,
And they don't care.
yep.
They don't care. Literally, you could be like, hey, if we don't get these numbers up, you're probably going to lose your job. And I'm like, okay.
I'll find another one.
What do you mean, okay?
Right?
Like, most people are like, all right, I'll do better. It's like, they're like, whatever. Like, what?
With all that being said, is like after, what do they call it? Like college and universities, that kind of schooling, is it still as popular, or do you think that's dying out?
Going to
What do they
college?
call
Higher
it?
education?
Higher education.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I mean, personally,
yeah.
I do feel like college is becoming less and less of a requirement. I don't know. It's also becoming far more standard, which
I'm
is
okay
weird.
with that though.
Well, because there's multiple things. So one, I've watched interviews with Elon Musk where he flat out tells people, he's like, you don't need to go to college.
No.
He's like, education is free. You can learn anything for free.
Well, I think I've mentioned it on here before. There's a kid I used to work with who is a graphic designer. He can do some amazing things, but he can't get a job because he doesn't have that piece of paper that said he graduated from a university or whatever or got a degree in graphic design. He taught himself. He's self-taught.
So then have him graphic design himself his own degree from South Harmon Institute of
for real.
Technology.
That's a good idea. But
We
that's,
know that's shit, right? What is that? That's our mascot. A sandwich? You're the shit sandwich?
That's a good
Such a good movie. Timeless.
what movie is that?
Accepted.
never
With
seen
Blake
it.
Yeah, well,
Lively.
you still have yet to see
Yeah,
it,
still
man.
yet.
Every
Oh,
time we
that
quote
is a
it, you're like,
classic movie.
I need
What
to
movie
see
is
it.
that?
Classic movie.
But I mean, yeah, I've had multiple discussions about this and I have a buddy who's really like, hey, I got my degree, I worked hard for it. And I'm like, I'm not trying to take anything away from you. You did work hard for that degree, you deserve it. But at the same time, there's people out there who can do just as good as a job. And it's not fair that someone gets that job because of a piece of paper when you got someone who can do the job better, but they don't have that piece of paper.
I think the degree is more, it's not saying, okay, you have a higher education. It's saying, okay, you committed to something and you followed through with it.
I was going to say the same
was
thing.
part of it.
I feel like depending on the profession, the degree isn't so much that, oh, now you know more about this particular career. It shows that you were disciplined enough to go to college, pay out of your own pocket to study and accomplish
But
something.
that's the thing. Did they pay out of their own pocket,
Well,
or did they
I
get
know,
into massive amounts of student debt?
Yeah, that's a
You
problem.
then
come
get it
out of
forgiven.
you come out of high school and get yourself $100,000 in student loans, but you can't buy a house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going to approve you for a mortgage.
Exactly.
But they'll drop you into massive amounts of debt for, in some cases nowadays, like there's degrees that do nothing.
Well, the ones that always crack me up is when you go to like universities or something for a degree that literally does nothing, like a
gender
major
studies?
in French, and you're like,
Yeah.
what are you majoring in
You're
French
going to
for?
be a high school French teacher.
Yeah,
That's your only job.
Yep.
Or you just move to Paris and get a day job.
yeah.
Like, what do you do?
But like,
You work
okay,
at a supermarket in
another
France.
prime example is my degree. So when I went to college, my degree was in information systems and technology. You know, big computer stuff, servers, you know, infrastructure, all the big fancy stuff. And while I was going to school, I was like, this is a load of crap. This is garbage. I am learning stuff from 10 years ago.
This is a load of crap. I'm learning stuff. But it paused a little too much.
Yeah, but it's stuff that is no longer pertinent.
Yeah.
Technology moves so fast.
Yeah,
that the teachers can't keep up with it.
Yeah.
The institutions can't keep up with it.
Because your teacher probably took that degree 20 years before you.
Yeah.
Like-
Well, and it's not that they don't know what they're talking about, but like
just the
prime
material.
example, I was in a class learning about Windows Server 2005. I'm like, dude, that was 6 years ago. We're
Yeah.
not even running that operating system anymore. Like, you're doing me no good.
Yeah.
I wish college and universities, I wish it was more like trade schools where you could pick a degree, or not a degree, but you could pick a career, a
profession,
profession and study that.
Well, and I feel like that's where education's going to go.
That's where it should go.
Because having to fulfill your, the word just escaped me, generals.
Generals, yeah.
Why do I need to learn about
That's-
sociology and history and mathematics?
That's actually the exact reason I didn't go to college. Because I was like, for one, I don't know really what I want to go for. So I'm not going to waste my time and money studying just advanced things that I learned in high school. And yeah.
And that's my buddy I was talking about who was really, proud of his degree and all that stuff when we were talking about it. He almost didn't get it because he couldn't pass his math class. But his degree is in technical writing.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with math. But at the same time, they were like, well, sorry, you can't get this degree until you have this general completed.
I had
which
the
is
same
math.
problem. I had the same problem. Mine wasn't math, but mine was Java programming. I wanted to bash my head in every time I had to take a Java programming class.
Java even around anymore?
Who knows?
Barely. Like
don't
most
think it is,
programming now
but-
doesn't really use JavaScript.
One class made me write out a whole JavaScript in paper. I didn't even get to use a computer. Not to even
How would you even know if it worked?
not to even compile it, nothing. No, he would go through and manually check, make sure all the things were done correctly, like written.
When you could just go on a computer and go execute, and if it works, it works. If it
And
doesn't,
I was like-
try again.
Like I seriously did not understand. I'm like, why do I need to know this? I want to work on servers, dude. I don't want to work on
I don't
Java
need to know
programming.
this. Yeah.
So anyway,
And,
Well,
sorry, go ahead.
That and student, I don't know. I think it's just a money grab, in my opinion.
Oh, 100%.
So
totally is.
It's student loans are the only debt that's unforgivable. You can't bankrupt off of it. You have to pay it back. So going in, if you retire and you still have any form of student debt, they deduct it out of your Social Security.
Really?
It's crazy.
It's it's like the game of life. Have you ever played Life? It's, I mean, that's almost to a T. You make it to the end of the board, but before you can actually cash out, you have to pay off any student loans that you have.
Yep.
I mean, it's
Now, out of curiosity, there was something that I saw in the news where Biden was wanting to forgive a lot of student debt. Did that go through, or what? What was that? Did you hear about that?
They're kind of working on it.
That's been
It's been a huge thing since Bernie Sanders.
it's always been one of the
didn't
progressives leading
Obama
debates.
was trying to do it, right?
They all try to do it, and I think I don't think
Trump
Do
did
they
it.
I
actually
don't
try
think
to
that's
do
the
it,
right
or do they
answer.
just say
I
it?
think they'd say they're going to do it, but they don't.
It's a bulletin point.
It is.
But I mean,
I think the legit only one that might have done it is Bernie Sanders.
and see, and
yeah,
I
he
don't
wanted to, for
I don't
sure, yeah.
agree with forgiving student loan debt, but I 100% believe that we should be looking at these universities and seeing what they're charging for and why they're charging.
It's the same thing of why you're
Same
paying
with medical
$300
insurance.
for a Tylenol at the hospital.
Exactly.
Same,
like
same
I think
concept.
there needs to be way more transparency, and I'm okay with rules saying like you can't charge $500 for a textbook.
Yep.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started.
Like you have to provide it, like in your classroom or digitally, or like it has to be a small markup from like the actual printing price or what something.
See that?
I had teachers that double dipped. They would write their own textbook.
Heck yeah,
and then
dude.
turn around and sell it to you for $120.
Heck yeah.
You're like, are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh.
And oh, by the way, you have to
they
have
make
this
the money
book
off
to
of that?
take this class. Yeah.
Wow. I was going to say it seems like most students nowadays have their own laptops. It's like, why not just make everything digital and just tell your students, okay, download this book, and it's, pay $5 for the download or something.
I've heard
I
of
don't know.
stories from some
I
teachers
think
doing
it's
that.
smart, but the problem is I think that growing up and going through school, you're taught to listen to somebody and not do it on your own. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
It's part of the problem.
you're taught to be a drone. We're not taught
No
to
critical-
run our own businesses. We're not taught to. Why are we not taught in elementary school to high school how to make money, how to balance finances, how to not go into massive amounts of debt,
Right.
You're
how
taught,
to create a business?
you're taught what to learn, not how to learn. You're taught to memorize, not critical think. And I look back at it and I see it. I'm like, holy crap! Like, there's a lot of holes in the education system.
Yeah, dude.
See, here's my thinking for student loan debt is getting rid of it is if you go into that profession, like for instance, my brother, with him being a teacher, the school district he's working for, if he makes it through like a 5-year tenor, something like that, they'll pay off the rest of his student loans. Because he stuck it out with them, they'll pay it off, they'll work it out.
See,
See,
that's
that's
cool.
a great
That's
incentive.
good.
So my thinking is why not start even this government thing or something like that with these companies and say, hey, listen, you've got a person who went to school for this. They come work for you. If they can make it through 5 years, we'll forgive the rest of their student loans. Through you guys, we go, put in all this stuff, submit everything. But if you got someone who goes to school for this and then decides 3 years into it that, I don't want to do this anymore, forgive my student debt. Well, no, you're the one that chose not to do this anymore, so now you got to pay for it. But I'd maybe work with companies or something. I don't know.
There needs to be some innovative solutions for sure.
Not just forgive them because hey, you did go to school. We're going to forgive you of your student debt.
Like, I'm hearing-
make it worth it.
A lot of these companies too, like the kids don't have the skills they need to progress in life. And so they actually are doing tutoring programs and stuff in a lot of these businesses, which I think is smart too. But what do I
My
know?
company does all of their own in-house training.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm very blessed to be making what I make with no college degree, and everything I've learned within the company.
Me too.
I mean, that's the thing is you're putting money into your own employees to make your business better.
No, but really, yeah. Because
But yeah, like, I mean, it even used to be that back in the day, like, there was, like, you look at, like, Ivy League schools, and there was a certain prestige from going to those schools. But, like, nowadays, it's their like, what's the word I'm looking
participation
for?
trophy.
Essentially, yeah. Like, well, they've lowered their standards.
Yeah.
They lowered their standards of entry,
Yeah.
like letting more and more people in that you used to have to like score wicked high on your SATs, all that stuff, and do certain things, and everyone was fighting to get position. Now they're letting so many more people in. It's like it kind of loses that value.
It's actually
The merit of it.
talking
Yeah.
about the movie Accepted, how the Harmon University, how they wanted to cut out, like demolish a few of the buildings to make it less acceptable for, too many students. And he says that exact thing. He's like, what do all these Ivy League universities have in common? They're harder to get into, and therefore it makes them more prestigious. And he's like, so let's take out these buildings and make a big common area, and then therefore it's harder to get in because we
They
can
have
only
less room. We can't hold as many people.
Exactly.
But also, like, it was also a place to network. Like, you would network with other people, and that would help in the long run, because then you'd have an in a job afterwards, after your degree, all this stuff. Whereas you don't really see that. People are like, seriously, it blows my mind how many just garbage degrees there are. That people are wasting hundreds of thousands of dollars on useless information.
Now, there are degrees that do need further education, like
Yeah.
doctorates and stuff like that.
Of course.
But
Yeah.
there's so much fat that they could definitely trim, and requirements. And like, I have a friend right now who's going to doctorate school, and he's been jumping through all the hoops, doing all of his, I don't know all the jargon, but I know that he has to do like what do they call that, on-site training for doctors?
Oh, his
Like intern.
not really.
I know it. It's
residency?
on tongue.
Residency.
Yeah.
Which I heard they learn a lot more in a residency than they ever did in school.
Exactly. Well, because what are they
It's
getting?
real world experience.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
We're
so,
on the same page.
Yep.
but the crazy thing is, and did you guys ever listen to that sleeping podcast about like the doctors and stuff like that?
Yeah.
How their demand is just astronomical. And there's a guy that like in his residency fell asleep on the toilet mid-eating.
Yeah.
And it was just like, cause that's how little time that he had. And you know, and it's just like, and his buzzer went off and it woke him up and he's like, what is my life? I fell asleep on the toilet eating my lunch and now I'm being buzzed again.
It's like
It's just unhealthy.
it's like boot camp where they keep you up and do all that. It just breaks you down.
Which is terrifying. Like, what was it? My wife likes Grey's Anatomy. And so she watches that. And every time I catch an episode, and it's the whole premise of the show is they're a training hospital. So they're training residents and stuff. And I watch it and I'm like, I would never go to a hospital like this. Ever.
You know how they say, like, if you want a cheaper haircut, go to like a hair school, like where where they're learning how to cut hair, and it's like, oh, we're probably not going to do the greatest job, so we're going to give you a discount. It's like, could you imagine that as a hospital? Like,
Exactly.
You get what
it's
you
like,
get.
hey, I my arm's about to fall off. I'm kind of tight on cash, so just see what you can do.
You got some like real strong tape back there? Yeah, dude, it's just wild.
Well, and it is. It's like on the sleep thing. It's terrifying to think that some of these men and women who are in charge of your life are probably running on 3-4 hours of sleep, if that. And it's like, oh man.
How does this all tie back into the metaverse?
I mean this because who knows? Like, if there's
I'm
a
gonna be a
metaverse,
doctor in the metaverse.
no, that's the thing. Is like
Is
you
it?
can think.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. You can think of this place as literally the Matrix. It's,
You could be
it's
whatever
a
you want to
virtual
be.
version of our world. And I mean, people, like, if we look at shows like, or books like Ready Player One, like they were going to school in the metaverse. Like, it's virtual reality, but a whole new level. Like, we already have vests that you can buy for gaming that have haptic feedback.
Yep.
So you could be
That's-
playing a VR game and get shot, and it'll like buzz on you where you got hit.
Have you seen that where it's actually like a treadmill that you
Yeah.
can turn and you can run?
It's
and
like a
you're actually
half
running?
dome
Yep.
thing that you run in.
I've actually done it and it's amazing.
It looks cool.
It's incredible.
How do you? Is it just like no friction?
Yeah, so they actually have you suspended.
Uh-huh.
So you're not bearing your weight on your feet.
Oh,
But your feet are still touching.
But the disc is slippery and you wear like a slipper thing. And then your feet moving cause your character to run.
so it's almost
and
like a
turn.
touch screen.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where'd you do it at?
California.
Oh, okay.
See, and like they have stuff like that. You even have VR already, like the Oculus Quest 2 it has 4 cameras on the corners, like 4 fisheye cameras. It can use just your hands. So when you're in the VR, like you don't have to use the paddles. You can actually put those down and use your actual hands and point and select things.
Like Iron Man.
Because the cameras see you.
That's exactly what I
Exactly.
thought.
They see you and let you manipulate stuff.
I will
Already.
say I do think VR is the future of education.
Yeah, I can
There's
see it.
so much that you can learn
Oh, yeah.
because of the hands-on training.
Yeah.
Instead of needing a fresh cadaver, right, to like hack open, oh, let's just boot it up. Okay, here you go. Here's your scalpel. Here's your, and you could just, like, I was an auto mechanic in one little tiny game.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so rad, dude. You're undoing bolts, you're lifting an engine, you're doing all this stuff, and you're just,
See, that would be so
it
cool.
was way awesome. And I
it's-
was thinking, okay, this is how people are going to learn.
Well, and for history and stuff, there was this little game I did for one of the first times I tried it, Anne Frank's house. So you straight up could go on tour and walk around the house that Anne Frank was in when she was hiding from the Nazis.
That's
But
crazy.
through the video game or whatever.
Yeah, you're literally, because it's in VR, so you go into the room and you're in the room.
It's just
And
a
you're
program.
like, whoa, like you
know,
can
it's
look
kinda-
around and it's like you're there.
Is
This
it
is
like
a- oh, go ahead.
Sorry, is it? It's like actual, like you're actually there. It's
Like
not,
somebody went in there with a 3D camera or a 360 camera and filmed everything and then compiled it into the game. So it's all real. It's not like
So it's real
digitally
footage in the
rendered. It's
program.
real.
Oh,
Oh, that's cool.
like as if you were on Google Maps type thing.
Yeah.
Like-
like Google Street View inside the
Yeah.
house.
See, terrible comparison, but like I think of the movie Mr. Peabody, and how he's got his time machine and he teaches his son Sherman about history by going back to those actual moments and everything. It's like you could almost do the same with VR, you know, with like I'm trying to think of like let's just say the Civil War.
Okay.
You could actually be a soldier in the Civil War, but yet have it be like historically correct in a sense. I think
Yeah.
that'd be so cool.
Yeah, like you could film,
I would have paid attention
you could
more in
film-
history with that.
You could film some of those reenactments
Yeah.
like, that they do and turn that into the education, like have them full on reenact the battles and stuff like that. And
Right.
360 cam on top of a couple people. And it's like you're that person going through the battle. And a lot of that stuff's on YouTube already, and you can just use the VR headset to get in there.
Yeah, what do they call that? Google Cardboard?
There's Google Cardboard, yeah. But then if you have an Oculus, it's just that you download YouTube and it has a whole list of like 360 videos and
Right.
stuff.
Dang.
I need one of those.
It's really cool, man. Like it could definitely like that's where I see Metaverse actually playing a role is in like the VR space for education. Because I think like especially the hands-on stuff, you could learn so much.
Trade schools could really.
Oh,
use
big
it.
time, dude.
Yeah.
Big time.
Welding.
Huge cut down on costs.
that.
Yep.
And
Well, think of like the injuries too. Like even just simple shop class. Like, you know, instead of a kid chopping off his finger because he doesn't know how to use the saw, now everything's VR and you don't have to worry about those injuries.
Until he actually has to use a saw.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
he's like,
depending on how good the VR is, though, and if it's like,
I
just terrifies him.
I guarantee we go the way of full haptic suits.
yeah.
like in Ready Player One.
Oh yeah. We're already on the way. We are, like I said, we already have the vests. We already have controllers that do it. So you feel it in your hands. I mean, all they would need to do is make some gloves.
didn't Facebook come out with gloves?
I don't know.
It scares me.
I
But at the
thought-
same time, it intrigues me.
Yeah, I could have swore I saw something about Facebook or something having gloves and like 100 and some odd different haptic sensors in the gloves.
Haptic X or Hapt X made haptic gloves for virtual reality. No, I know what you're talking about now. I'm trying to think. Yeah, someone is working on it, and it makes it so you can grab stuff.
Yeah.
And there's these little like panels that like close or something and like stop your hand from going any farther. So it's like you're picking up physical objects. I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, and
intense.
we've seen the other side of it when we've gone to Disney and we went through that
The Void.
the void, you know, and you're walking around in VR and you're seeing stuff. But in the void, so if those that
They
don't
are the
know,
meta haptic gloves.
yeah. So the void is basically like a giant warehouse, but the whole place is mapped out like the set that you're seeing in your VR. So you can go around, you touch a wall, and what you might see is like the wall of a spaceship, but you're actually just touching like a regular wall. But it's got that sensation that you can see, and as you're going through the void, they might have like a scene where you know something explodes and the floor shakes, and so you're feeling that.
Yeah.
Or there's like heat, you know, things exploding, and we've seen that side of it. We've been a part of it. It's freaking wild. So I do see the intrigue behind the metaverse, but when it comes to like living in it, that is where it creeps me out. I do see the benefit of like a business standpoint, right? Where if, you know, you've got clients in Brazil and in Germany, and hey, let's get together for a quick meeting. Like when I worked at my previous job at Instructure, we had many different locations all over the world, and it would be so dope to be able to like hop into a virtual reality and have an actual meeting.
So use it as like a tool instead of
yeah.
your life.
Yeah, exactly. So I see applications, but the minute it teeters from that to then being your life, that is creepy, dude.
See, and that's the thing, though. That's our view.
Yeah.
Younger generations are going to grow up with it being their life.
I hate to keep referencing it, but again, Ready Player One. It's like population and everything is terrible. Like you think of the main character and he's living in that vertical trailer park, basically.
The stacks.
Yeah, and his life is miserable. He's poor, having a hard time. But in the Oasis, it's everything he could ever imagine. And he's one of the greatest people in it.
He's still poor. He starts off horrible, but
Well, true. But
No, he's not poor anymore.
no, not when he wins everything.
But I'm just saying, again, the generational thing. I think we've been taught enough about this world that we would rather take our chances here, where the younger generation is so technology like
It's
plugged
the shiny
in.
thing. Like it. I mean,
I
it
don't
is.
know,
Gonna,
man.
it's gonna be cool.
I just see all levels of mental illness, all different levels of a new type of addiction that we have no idea about.
What if it goes past
out of
that
it.
though? Like what if it goes past addiction and just becomes the new norm, and so therefore it's not an addiction? Like again, like we live in it so much that now it's past addiction and it's just what you do.
To where you couldn't, but then if you ever had to come out of it, you couldn't cope with real life. Well, I guess that is your real life. That's weird.
Yeah.
How
like,
would it?
like it flips in a sense almost. I don't know.
What were you thinking, Zach?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I don't know. I'd almost like to have a virtual reality because this world's going to hell in a handbasket real quick.
I'm so glad you're so positive all the time. I love it.
But see, here's the other thing. Like, did you ever see the movie Surrogates?
Yes,
No.
with Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's similar to like Gamer. Did you ever watch Gamer?
yeah. That was a good one.
So think of that. Like people escaping their own actual reality into a different reality. Like people use drugs right now to do that. A lot of times,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, it's
So-
like Free Guy, you know, the new Ryan Reynolds one, same type of deal. It's like there's so much coming out about it that it's just not that far off. The Matrix was one of the first to do it, I feel like. You think of the real world is that like post-apocalyptic, they're wearing rags for clothes, like it's looks terrible, and then the Matrix is beautiful and perfect, and it's like pretty soon that's how
You
it's
got that lady in the red dress.
right.
See, and that's
Still
the
can't
thing.
get her out of my head.
Is like, what would the health complications be? Like, if
Yeah.
everyone's like sitting
That's true.
in the chair, are we gonna end up like Wall-E people?
No, that's why you do what they did in. So if you read the book of Ready Player One, he actually has this thing that he sets up because he got the same way, sitting in
Yeah.
his chair all the time, got fat, all that stuff.
You got the
He set up this thing where you can lock yourself out of your account until you put in a full hour of exercise. So he would actually have his thing where he'd have to go run, lift weights, do something, and he actually maintained his healthy lifestyle.
yeah.
It's kind of like in the movie how at the end, after he inherits the game, how he says that on Tuesdays and Thursdays it shuts off and everybody has to live in the real world.
See?
Yeah.
But that's the thing is I don't see Mark Zuckerberg like ever doing something like that.
Him and his creepy eyes.
Yeah, dude. Have you seen that creepy video of him in the metaverse? He's got like a knife and he's like creeping around.
What?
Oh, it's so weird. I think someone else made it, obviously, but I'll have to show you guys. It's
His
so
lifeless
weird.
eyes.
Because he's got a knife and he's standing there with it and you pop into the metaverse and he's like, oh, hey, welcome. And he's just being super creepy about it. It's scary.
Well, the other side of the metaverse too isn't Mark trying to like basically make it so you can't have another like any competition? Basically, it would make the metaverse it's a monopoly, right?
I mean, that's what I'm trying to remember where I read something about this. basically they're like they're buying a ton of stuff.
It's creepy because you're basically it's setting it all up to succeed on its own and by itself because you've got Ethereum, you've got Bitcoin, you've got all these decentralized tokens, I guess. Is that what you call those?
Yeah.
But then you also have NFTs now coming all about where you can own a piece of digital.
Yeah. So people
in a digital world.
People are already buying digital property.
That makes no sense.
Like for millions of dollars.
What? This isn't a physical property. It's like a property in a.
Yes.
It's a code. You're buying a piece of code, right?
People are buying property in in metaverses.
I mean, if we're being honest, it's probably all one giant money laundering scheme.
Genius.
Mark's got a lot of money. He's got to,
he's
move around.
working. Yeah, he's working towards. He's just buying stuff up quietly. Like they're buying all kinds of properties, technologies, and things to basically make them the only competitors in the metaverse.
I got the perfect thing. Set up a Fives a Crowd universe, and someone can go buy property next to Cam, his house, Chris's house.
In our metaverse?
No, they hate me.
No, they love you.
Get off my
Our
lawn.
houses would look like our description from our one episode.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
And they can buy
They could
property.
buy
bags.
they could buy our stuff from it.
There we go. We'll sell NFTs.
Yep.
I feel like it's like NFTs are the modern, like futuristic version of just barter and trade, in a sense.
Yeah.
Because
The new
back in the
commodities.
day, before there was like actual currency, things were valued based off of how necessary they were.
This just sounds like a bad sci-fi movie.
It honestly doesn't make any sense.
No.
Like, I don't know.
But
Well, and here's the. Sorry, go ahead.
But like Tony and Zach were saying, we know better, but our future generations, they're going to not know any better if they can employ it right enough.
Yeah. Well, and they're going to think we're crazy and stupid. You know what I mean?
Oh, my kids already
not
think I
buying
am
into it.
because of how much they want to be on, not social media, but how much they want to be on electronics and stuff like that.
Well, they don't think you're crazy.
yeah,
You're
they
a
do.
dictator.
they just think you're Hitler.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
Oh, Dad, you're such a Hitler.
But it's like I tell them, like, you've been on this for too long. Like, you need to go do something else. And it's, well, none of my friends are playing outside. They're all playing on this game.
With
Okay. Well, you make a good point then.
Alden's been doing that, and I say, listen, do I want what's best for you? Well, yeah, you're my dad. I was like, then just listen to me. And he's kind of he's like, is this what's best for me? Yes, it's what's best for you. And so now I'm just waiting for that ship to sail, and then I'll have to think of something else. Because
See, I hate it when we shut off the electronics and our kids are like, but there's nothing to do. Oh, there's a ton to do. But you just don't want to do it.
But the worst is
Come
when
on
they
along.
bug you the whole time.
I don't.
I'm bored. Entertain me. It's like, no, go do it yourself. But because you don't want to turn the electronics back on, but they won't leave you alone now.
My favorite to this day is when I told Jude, go use your imagination, but I don't want to use my imagination. Oh, I failed as a father.
See, and that brings up another point, though. Like, would this have a massive effect on people's imaginations?
Yes.
I
You know what I
think
mean?
I think it already is. All the media and everything. When's the last time you've seen a movie that's came out that's been an original idea?
Oh, dude, it's been years.
Every time I think I've seen one, then I realize it's from a book or something. I'm like,
Yep.
oh,
You're like, oh, that's new. Wait, no.
Just
it's not.
saying.
Yeah. Even TV shows. Everything's a remake right now.
Even if it is off historical facts, like Gladiator, you had Patriot, you had all those come out that were original movies based on something, but
they still got the idea from something.
Yeah.
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 No,
you
exactly.
want to know what I always question is comedy.
Yeah.
Comedy is so fast now. You can take in a ton of comedy every day through memes, through
Oh, yeah.
short snippets.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Oh my gosh.
It's just right at your fingertips.
Yeah, but you're intaking so much all at once that like eventually nothing's gonna be funny. I don't know. That's where I'm like, at what point do you take in so much that now you kind of understand already.
Numb to it.
Have you ever looked at the Babylon Bee? You ever heard of it? It's really funny. They do a lot of satire and parody of like real world politics, but we're to a point now where their satire like titles
Is
could
happening.
be real.
Really?
Like it's so like the political world is such a clown world right now that they make jokes that sound like they could be actual articles.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Do you have an example? I'm curious.
I'll have to let me look some up. But they're just so ridiculous.
See, while he looks that up, I thought you were going to say with comedy on the movie subject, at least with comedy, that's still original-ish. Like the storylines and things are original. The comedy may be being pulled from different things, but storylines in the movie itself, I feel like that's the one genre that stays pretty original.
Yeah. That's true.
Well, I mean, comics and everything too. It's all it's their spin on their own personal life and their own personal problems.
It's all.
and
I mean, the
everything,
best
which-
comedy is based off truth, and there's so much always going on that you can always make fun of something.
Yep.
I gotta find this.
Well, I'm not sleeping tonight. I'm just gonna be
That's
thinking about
it's
this.
a deep thinker,
Yeah.
man.
Dude,
it is.
the metaverse is wild. Like, who freaking knows? Like, we're at the cusp of. I feel like the metaverse is our true version of like the internet. Like the internet came out, wow, that was amazing. But I feel like this is like that next monumental move to the internet. Like actually being in another world.
So, like,
as
big as the internet was, this is that next.
Yeah, that's like that next plateau. And the funny thing is today Facebook opened its Horizon Worlds virtual reality platform, which is basically their step towards building their metaverse. So it's an online experience where you can chat with friends and be face to face with others. So like this is literally them setting the groundwork. Launched today.
Now, here's my question. Do you think it really will happen? Like, I mean, obviously it's happening, but do you think people will adopt to it?
Yes.
Do you really?
over time.
Well, here's the thing, and this thought came up to me right now because another reason we're seeing our world the way it is right now is because we've been in times of peace for a very long time.
Yeah.
There's
People-
peace out there.
People, you don't have to fight anyone to get food.
Okay.
You don't have to wonder where you're going to sleep tonight.
You're not wrong.
You don't have to worry about water.
Okay.
You know
That's
what I
what
mean?
you mean by peace. I was gonna say, oh, there's a lot of dicks out there.
There's a lot of dicks. But I mean, like we're not in a state of survival, and we haven't been for a very long time.
Yeah.
So honestly, people are bored. People are creating problems where there are no problems.
Ain't that the truth?
Soft times make soft people.
Exactly.
What's that? What's the full saying to that?
Hard
Times make hard men. Hard men make soft times. Soft times make soft men. Soft men make hard times.
Yeah.
So
So it's a
basically,
full
yeah.
circle.
Yeah.
It's actually like a Hindu.
And
saying.
we're in the soft times making soft people.
Oh yeah.
We're in the soft people.
Because we don't. I
stage.
mean, you think
Making hard
World
time-
War II was the hard times that created hard men.
Yeah.
Then they created what we're in, which is a peaceful, like, easier time, and we're seeing all the soft men that have come from
All the
that.
participation trophies.
And the harder times are coming. Like you can see them; they're coming. They're not far.
like, it honestly terrifies me considering as we get older, like if another country tries to invade the US or, it's like, who's going to go to war?
No one.
Oh yeah,
Well, there are people having hard times on this planet, which is
Yeah.
making hard men or hard people or whatever you want to say.
But the thing is it's not as much here.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what crushes empires.
That's what
You
I'm
know-
getting at.
Yeah.
I was
And,
having
and we
a,
look like jokes right now.
I was
Yeah.
having
On
a
the world
conversation with my father-in-law, and
Time
granted, it
out.
was-
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I was just Like we're in the middle of a battle. Time out. I stubbed my toe.
Wait,
I stubbed my toe.
He hurt my feelings.
I'm sorry.
Guys, can we do this in the metaverse?
Put your suits on.
Hey, you
Sorry.
don't have your haptic enabled.
Yeah.
I shot you.
If you don't have your haptic enabled, I'm gonna get hurt. Turn it on.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's like the
You're not wearing your helmet. I could get shot in the head.
It's like when we were in elementary and you'd be play fighting. It's like, no, that didn't hit me. I have a shield. Like,
You're bleeding out, Johnny.
Just a flash
Nope,
wound.
doesn't count.
no, kind of just on that with the different countries and stuff. We were talking about, we were mainly talking about the economy and how back during the Cold War, what's his name? Ronald Reagan. So inflation was going out of control, and Ronald Reagan, he was brave enough to set the interest rate at like 14%, which hurt everything, but it stopped that inflation, and it ended up helping us in the long run. But anyway, with the Cold War, he was telling me that Russia was trying to keep up with us, but we were too economically strong that it basically bankrupted Russia. And so other countries had to kind of come in and help bail them out, and they had to build it up. Well, he was just telling me that it's kind of similar now between us and China, but China is its own, they can basically say what their currency is worth. And so therefore they're upping us, and they're almost doing the same thing we did to Russia, but to us.
Well, yeah. Ronald Reagan would also make up these claims saying we had a nuclear shield and we had the nuclear net that we could block, saying that so Russia would hear it. So they're trying to develop this technology to where they ran themselves into bankruptcy.
Yeah.
It was a gamble.
Psychological warfare.
It was a gamble, but it paid off.
We need another Reagan. But yeah, they're like China's. They're scary, dude. I don't think people are as afraid of them as we should be.
I think we had, I think we had a Ronald Reagan, but I don't know politics well enough to back this up. But I feel like, I feel like
careful.
Trump.
Nope, do it. Do it.
I feel
do
like
it.
Trump had what it took.
There goes half of our subscription.
Good.
I'm sorry. I'm not a huge politic follower. I don't know it well enough, but just the things I've kind of learned, what he was trying to do with our trading and everything with China, I think he was on the right track.
Trying to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To make America look inward for its sources.
No, exactly. Like, I mean, I feel like we're all of that generation where we were raised to be proud of our country. We were raised to love our country, to be strong citizens, to be proud of the flag,
Heck
to be proud of what our country represents. And you see right now that children are being raised to not feel that way.
Yep.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that will 100% destroy us.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being proud of where you come from.
You think of like our military, it's like when you have soldiers who are proud of what they're fighting for, they're going to dominate. But as the generation continues and our soldiers are kind of like iffy about their own country, how well are they going to do?
Or going to defect to the other side.
It bugs me. It bugs me in the fact that, we have some history that we shouldn't be proud of, and we're not.
Yeah.
But we learn from it, and we always try to progress. And I think that as far as that, we have done that. But when they try to take that away and delete it and make us forget about it and everything, you're starting to delete a whole lot of lessons that we had to learn the hard way. But we needed to.
We're doomed to repeat them if you forget about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like it's scary. Like, and people just don't get what they're doing to our country. And the sad thing is they think in some twisted way they're doing something right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they feel like they're it's almost like a person with one of those crazy diseases where your body is basically attacking itself.
Autoimmune disease.
Yeah. Basically,
Yeah.
like your body's like, oh, you're the enemy. I need to take you out. It's like, no, you're killing both of us.
Like those people who have like too many white blood cells type thing. And
Yeah.
it ends up.
Yeah. And the white blood cells are like, you're the bad cells. And it's like, no, I'm you.
Yeah.
We're the same.
Well, it's always compared to tribalism. We're getting put into these tribalistic
sections
sections,
and
and
stuff.
so everybody's like, no, you're completely wrong. No, you're completely wrong.
You're bleeding.
Oh my gosh.
What did you do?
I probably fidgeted.
They got him.
Wow.
What's weird about it though is it feels like all this has happened in the last 10 years.
Like fast.
Oh yeah.
Extremely fast.
You know what's wild though? I've started noticing. I've been finding random shows to watch, like on Netflix or Hulu or whatever, like older shows out in like early 2000s, and I'm watching them today, and I'm catching some jokes that are like relevant to today and what's happening, and I'm like, what the freak? I'm like, it almost makes it's kind of scary because I'm like, I feel like they've been pushing it to get here on purpose, like through media and everything.
That's you just brought up what I wanted to bring up. I just popped into my head when Chris was talking about it before, how it could be a dangerous thing where, you know, we get into this virtual reality and it's almost like, is it too addicting or is it what we expect now? And there's an old movie out there. I can't remember the name of it. You might have to help me. It's got Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Demolition Man.
Yeah,
Yes.
Demolition Man. And even The Simpsons have made fun of it. I want to say Family Guy as well. But there's a point where they go to have sex. And it's like, oh, okay, hold on. And they put on their visors. And it's all virtual.
Well, doesn't he starts to
that's-
undress, and she's like, you stop.
Yeah, what are
Like,
you
put
doing?
this on.
Yeah, and he's like, what are
"What?"
we doing? And she's like, yeah, there's no physical touch anymore. We do it through this way. But even like, I remember, I want to say it was The Simpsons anyways, but it was the same thing there. Like, you know, Homer starts getting antsy and, you know, it's when they're old and the kids are grown up and, you know, Marge is like, okay, let's put on our haptics. And they put on their visors and you hear Homer go, oh, yeah. But I mean, that's just, they make fun of it. But I see that being an
But
actual
that could be-
reality.
yeah, now we're there.
But see,
There's no physical touch anymore.
do you really feel like it'll be that though?
Yes.
Like that's so extreme.
I think so. Here's kind of my thought. Going back to what we were talking about, like hard times, making soft men, all that stuff. So I feel that if we continue down this path that we're on of like soft times, we're gonna get into this weird realm of like
Yeah.
deeper into the metaverse, weird stuff going on like that. Who knows? People already do weird, freaky stuff.
Furries.
Freaking digital furries, man.
I try it.
I mean, think of where those haptic gloves are going to end up going. Anyways, whoa. But I
It won't
feel
let me
like
squeeze any harder.
if we end up going to, like, if something else happens, like we end up going to into some sort of war, or if there's another like massive worldwide battle, like that would really depend. Like again, our priorities right now are not survival.
No.
Yeah.
They are. I'm bored. We have money. What do we do with it?
I stink. I stink. I still think our military are pretty BA though.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean,
Oh, definitely.
But I
Yeah.
mean, that last commercial I saw from the army versus the freaking Russians commercial was very terrible.
I just had a brain blast.
Let's hear it.
COVID,
Uh-huh.
right? What if?
Oh, here we go.
I might be on the same page.
What if it was released to then push us into the metaverse?
Into hibernation, into like social distancing to where we want to be into in a virtual connection with each other.
Yes.
Oh, here we go.
Where it's like, stay inside,
Bro.
stay away, keep everyone safe. Oh, but hey,
You
you can
underestimate.
play with your friends in a virtual world that we control.
My brain hurts. Yeah.
I don't like this.
That
Because
sounds
that totally makes sense, dude. Because they've been training you to do that for the last 2 years.
Yeah, when they created online video games, so you can't play with your buddy sitting on the couch next to you.
Look at how many games don't have any kind of split screen co-op.
no split screen.
Yeah.
No split screen. That was the beginning of it.
They want
Now-
you in the metaverse.
Now, here's the thing. I feel like, personally, Metaverse is going to flop like Google Plus. I think it's just going to Fall
I
dead.
remember Google Plus.
What was Google Plus?
Exactly. It was Google's attempt at a social network.
Oh, all right.
I didn't want to
Big
set myself
floppy
up. I didn't say it. Thanks for falling on that knife for me.
You're welcome.
I was thinking it too. Leave it to the three of us.
Yay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like people are going to get so scared of it, the uncertainty of it, everything. Like, there are definitely going to be early adopters. There already are. Mm-hmm. There are going to be people investing in it heavily. It's going to be the hype. But I feel like it's just not going to get there.
It's going to be the next Google Glasses.
It's just going to, you know what? This isn't as cool as I thought it'd be. And then bam, that's it.
Well, here's the thing is I don't see it being as relevant as obviously Zuckerberg wants it to be until it's nigh the level of the Matrix.
So what do you think it's going to be like the PSP come out ahead of its time? Or what was the one?
Game Gear.
Game Gear.
Yeah.
Where it flopped.
PSP also.
Just came out ahead of its time, so it flopped.
Yeah. But I mean, like, here's the thing is until that digital world doesn't look that much like a digital world, you're always going to know you're in a digital world. And it's fun for a bit. But again, how long until, like, I can only play VR for so long before I start to get a headache or like dizzy, nauseous.
See, here's my thing: a guy can have fun doing that, doing a certain day, whatever, blah blah blah. But when it comes down to it, like, I've got to have that physical interaction, that physical touch, that physical communication, like what we're doing right now. You know, talking to each other face to face.
Oh, yeah.
I can't sit there and do it in front of somebody that I don't know for however long. Like, it's like over text communications. How many times even just with our communications, how many times have we felt like, oh man, this person's getting mad or this is going on. And we've all gotten so confused over some stupid little thing. And
well, it's just gets out of context.
It does.
I feel like it's vice versa. Like, how many friendships, relationships have been broken because there's too much digital involvement, so they don't understand each other's feelings.
Exactly.
And then vice versa, as far as, you know, you see all the romance scams and things like that because you can butter it up so much over text.
Well, that was one of my coworkers was just talking. He's on some dating website, and this girl had reached out to him, and he looked at her picture, her profile, and she's like, well, she's actually pretty cute. Fake. And so he started communicating with her. And then she had sent him this weird picture and of like her son. And he's like, wait a minute. Like, just kind of started piecing things together. And he's like, send me some pictures of you. What do you look like? Like, I've seen your profile, but they hadn't met yet. And she sent him some pictures, and he was like, unless this is you 20 years ago, this is not who you're on there. So she completely like lied about her profile. Catfished him. And he was like, no, he's like, this is not how, I mean, how old is he? He's like 45, 48, something like that, just recently divorced. And so he's like, I'm not going to start out a new relationship like this, you know, someone lying about their profile picture and stuff. So.
And imagine all the catfishing that could go on in the Metaverse.
Right?
All kinds of crazy stuff.
I love catfishing. Like actual catfishing.
Newland? You go Newland?
I mean, someone could trick me and say that they're the Rock and they're not the Rock. So
cold. Who would do that?
Right?
Man.
I mean, I feel like if we ever did get to a point where the metaverse was a thing and like heavily used, I feel like there would be that old Apple commercial. You know what I'm talking about? Where the person runs in and he's like, and they run in and they throw the
classic 1984 Apple commercial.
Yes. What was it that they threw? Like a discus?
She throws a sledgehammer.
A sledgehammer
into the screen. And she's like, see how Apple will make sure that 1984 is not like 1984, like referencing George Orwell.
Yeah. I feel like it'll be
like the Matrix, dude. Like, someone will have to break us out of it, like one by one.
Now here is if anyone is still listening and is like absolutely terrified of everything that we've been saying this entire episode, I will give you one tiny piece of personal hope. Well, experience and ensuring that this is going to be a crashing, burning problem, because we as creators upload to platforms. We upload to Facebook a lot. And we run into so many issues just uploading video.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you ever try and find a support person at Facebook, good luck. We've been doing it for years. I've never been able to get anyone on the support end. So that tells me Metaverse is going to have loads of problems and they're never going to get fixed. And it's just going to be a heaping pile of trash. And then people are going to have all this wasted money in NFTs. And
See, that's why I
and
said at the
cryptocurrency.
beginning, if Facebook's doing it, it's going to be garbage,
Yep. 100%.
Piece of poop.
But well, Facebook's not though. Meta's doing it.
which is Facebook.
No,
It's Mark Zuckerberg,
no. Meta is Meta. Facebook is owned by Meta.
which is Mark Zuckerberg. So it's Facebook.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yes and no.
It's like
Yes.
when Google,
Meta's owned by Zuckerberg,
Which is
and
Facebook.
Meta owns Facebook.
Which Zuckerberg started Facebook. So Mark
Yes, he
Zuckerberg
did.
sucks.
it's like Google being underneath the umbrella of Alphabet.
Can't quite follow your logic, but I like the end result.
He's debating like you, Cam. He's
He's just
Just
going to
keep
not stop
talking.
talking.
Just gonna keep talking.
Hey, at least my words are coherent.
Well, I mean, I'm surprised that we hung on to the metaverse topic for an hour now.
It's a wild
Right.
I
thing.
was thinking we were going to be bouncing through all sorts of weird, crazy topics, especially the like
Ghislaine
Maxwell.
Maxwell?
Yeah, I thought for sure we'd hit that topic at some point, but we
Right?
didn't.
I
I
didn't
got
realize
something
like
better than that too.
the metaverse
What?
would be so deep.
What?
You ready for this?
Yeah.
So
I don't know what you're gonna say, but I go ahead.
The Rock
Oh God.
just got the People's Choice Award. He is the People's Champion officially.
Oh my.
He's always claimed himself to be, but he literally got the award.
Wait,
For
what's
people's-
the people's choice? Like,
I
what
can't
people?
remember what it's
I didn't know.
under, but what's his bucket who created Tesla?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk presented him with the award and everything. He is now the official People's Champ.
Wow,
Wow.
good for him. That's awesome.
It's like a legit award. I can't remember
Yeah.
what it's under, but it's a legit
It's
award.
like
Clearly they
it's
haven't
like
watched
it's
his
the
rap video.
Nickelodeon.
That's what
People's
won
Choice.
it for him.
Wow.
I've still yet
I
to
wish
see
you were
it.
joking.
That's the funny thing is,
Well, we
you know I'm not
definitely-
joking.
We've definitely hit an hour. Do we want to keep going? I mean, do we want to hit on more other
I mean, we
topics
could-
rather than just
I
the
think
metaverse?
we could brush in on that Ghislaine Maxwell and kind of talk about it a bit because we have talked about Epstein before.
I see what you did there.
And so I think it'd be prudent to speak about, considering it's so wild that it's not all over the.
That's what I'm
internet.
gonna say. Why is it not headlining?
Yeah, why is it not everywhere? They're like what day 9 or something like that into her trial.
How many? Day 9?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Do you know who the prosecutor is? Comey's daughter. Did you know that? Look it up.
Okay,
Whose
spell this
daughter?
out for those that are listening because
Spell it out for me. I have no clue what's
Yeah.
going on.
Agreed.
So Epstein,
Yes.
I know Epstein's story.
He didn't kill himself.
No, he did not.
so everybody knows about Epstein.
Yeah, the Clintons
He
killed
had
him.
the private island
Ghislaine
where he would.
Maxwell was his like front woman. Like
Basically, like a weird
Like-
girlfriend kind of.
Secretary?
she did a lot of things,
Secretary.
Oh, okay. All right.
but she knew about the whole operation and helped him with the whole operation.
She groomed.
I saw headlines where
So-
it was like one of the witnesses that testified, who was only 14 at the time. Again, apparently Maxwell said, "You've got a great body. Epstein will love it," or something like that. Like she would basically, she was his pimp
She
or
was
something.
no, for real. She was basically fishing for people for him.
So apparently I've been just hiding under a rock because when it comes to this stuff, I just push it aside. What was he accused of? Was he accused of human trafficking or
Oh, he's one of the
Child
most. He's one of the most
pornography
prolific pedophiles ever.
is it pedophilia or is it like
Oh,
human trafficking or a
hardcore.
mixture of
Both.
everything?
He would
All of it.
So
Okay.
so Epstein started. He managed hedge funds and he managed wealth of
Yeah.
very wealthy people, right?
Yeah.
Well, he'd get in good with people and he'd take them to the island where
Extremely
he had
manipulative person.
take them to this island and make that, and they'd have sex with underage girls and everything. He'd video it so he had dirt on them, and to where he can manipulate and control people.
That's right. Didn't
So
we
he
talk
had a-
about one girl that he did this with?
We
Dude,
talked
she
about.
came
We
out-
did a whole podcast on him.
But he was as bad as a creep too, because he would do stuff, unthinkable things too. This is where we have a parental advisory warning.
He would.
As young as 14 years old.
Jeez.
He did some incredibly disgusting things. Got away with a
Unforgivable.
ton of stuff because he had so many people in his pocket. He had a
the
crap
money.
ton of money. He flew tons of people on his planes, like his private planes. Like Bill Clinton was on there multiple times.
Bill Gates?
One of the princes.
Wasn't
No,
Tom
Prince
Hanks
Henry.
on there too?
Prince Henry.
Maybe, I think so. Yeah, Prince Henry. Like so much stuff, and it's
Which we
just
don't know if
such a
they
freak.
did any.
I was going to say, I
any of
want to
that,
say the
but-
Tom Hanks stuff has been, he might have had an association somewhere along the way, but I want to say that's all been
So
like denied. Like,
I'd deny it too.
Has it been denied though?
And that's the hard thing too, is he
Don't ruin
because
Tom Hanks for me.
because he runs in these circles, he does get close to a lot of people,
he's the guy.
and you like
Kevin
you don't
Spacey.
know if anyone's
Kevin
Kevin
Spacey,
Spacey's a
yep.
freak though too.
Yeah.
You don't know who actually knows what he's been doing and
Yeah.
like connections and stuff.
It's like, I don't know what you're doing.
Exactly. You don't know if I'm a serial killer.
Is it James
Are you?
Comey? It's James Comey, who was the head of the FBI.
He was the head of the FBI.
and
yeah.
he was the front man, and he had to lie, and he got caught lying about a bunch of things. Well, his daughter, I'm pretty sure, I almost 100% sure, is the prosecutor on this trial. So if she has been compromised like he was, who knows what's going to happen if we're ever going to get the truth out of all this.
Jeez.
Yeah. So for going back a little bit to what I referenced, that Babylon Bee
Oh yeah.
website, they have one on here about the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. So this is their fake headline. It says, to save time, Ghislaine Maxwell just lists the Hollywood celebs and politicians who didn't visit Epstein's Island.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
They're funny. Like, these are so funny, but also sad because, like, there's one. Biden nukes Florida, says courts can strike down later if it turns out that's illegal.
My God.
Australians also boycotting Olympics since government won't let them leave their homes.
That's the sad thing is that's so true.
Evil corporation imprisons and kills millions. Update. No, wait. It's just the government.
Wow.
What's that?
Rittenhouse says F you to LeBron James. LeBron immediately falls to the ground.
That one I would believe. Off topic, Australia for the COVID lockdown. What's that situation been like? Last
It's
I heard
horrendous.
I heard it was absolutely horrendous down there.
They get one little teeny tiny symptom of coronavirus and they're locked down.
Well, I saw a
Nobody
video
can come, nobody
of
can go.
this person straight up in like a camp. They're putting these like they have all these like almost container looking homes, and these policemen and this doctor are like, you're not allowed to leave your balcony. You can't go talk to people over there. You can't leave this spot. Like basically telling this lady like if she leaves, there's going to be consequences.
Really?
Yeah, dude, it is straight up horrific over there.
I saw a video in France of a girl because you're supposed to have a vaccine passport there
Yeah.
to go into malls, to go and do shopping, restaurants, you name it. There was a girl who didn't. It sounds like I have COVID. I don't. I literally have a sinus infection.
That's a lie.
No, you got antibodies, buddy. Antibodies.
So don't think I'm spreading something here. I'm not. Anyway.
Everybody's going to turn off their stuff thinking you're spreading it.
I know, right? But there's footage of this girl who got into a mall that didn't have a passport. I don't think she actually got vaccinated. That's why she doesn't have it. But cops were literally beating her. down with like batons, like
Oh my
going
gosh.
to town.
In France?
Yes.
I saw a GIF and it says there's that lady who went crazy. She's like, why do you guys need military styled rifles? And all of a sudden it flashes a picture of Australia right after it.
No,
But
100%.
for real.
Like,
It's even as close to here. When I was in LA last week, we're in Universal Studios outside taking a photo with Megatron or, Optimus Prime and stuff like this. And we're standing in line. This lady walked up and she goes, "Can I take off my mask?" and started taking off her mask to take a photo. And they immediately were like, "No!" Like they all freaked out at her. "Put the mask back on. You need to get it back on right now. You don't put it back on, you're going to get kicked out of the park." And she's like, "I just wanted to have my picture taken with," and it was like Optimus Prime. It's like, I know someone's in there, but at the same time, they're covered with so many
and they're like tall.
armors and tall and everything. And they were like, no, you put that back on. That needs to go back on now. Like, if anybody took off their mask inside Universal Studios, like at all, you were harped on. You were immediately like, put your mask back
insanity.
on now.
Well, and to go back on Australia, I know that Australia used to give us a lot of flack, like the United States, about having guns.
Because they banned all guns a long time ago.
Yeah, and ever since this crazy stuff started happening in Australia, they're like,
We get it.
keep your Second Amendment, please.
Yeah.
Like, I have seen so many comments, especially on Reddit, and they're just like, do not let that go.
And that's the thing. Again, it all goes back to what we said. Like, in good times, people don't understand
Yeah.
why we needed those things. Why that was so prevalent to the forefathers that they put it as the second one right after freedom of speech, which is another thing that they don't have full freedom of in like Australia and even England or Canada for that matter. Like they don't have full free speech.
They're getting we're getting attacked on that too.
And everyone attacks us on the free speech and the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
And if we get rid of those, we will be just like those other countries.
Yeah.
So fast. That's what sets us apart and why, like, it's important.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail us on Australia. I was just really curious.
That scares me. I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Because now I'm really scared. For
We're
real.
just not going to
It is.
sleep
It's-
tonight.
It's scary. I'm not, man.
This is such a oddly heavy night right now.
Right?
Like, just
Just
everything
life.
we're talking about. It's like, I don't know if I want to laugh or cry.
Current state is crazy.
So here's one on that note. To prevent unnecessary deaths, nation demands common sense Alec Baldwin control.
Wow.
There was another Alec Baldwin in one. Where did it go?
Hell.
The other one was really funny too.
What is going on with that?
So I don't know if you haven't heard, Alec Baldwin was involved in a tragic accident that led to the death of one of the cinematographers on his latest movie.
And the injury of the director as well.
And the injury of the director when he shot off a prop gun that was loaded, and he ended up killing someone. Wait, you made me laugh at the worst time.
What's it say?
I can't look.
I can't read that.
Yeah, you can.
I'll read it.
Chris, read
Okay,
it.
fine, read it.
Okay, it
They
says
probably don't even know the reference.
a quote for Smollett. You know Jussie Smollett.
No.
He's the guy who
He faked a hate crime.
He faked a hate crime
okay.
from Empire. It said, so he was, anyway, it says Smollett, the true attackers were inside me all along. He had sexual relations with the guys who attacked him. Like,
and he was convicted today of doing the hate crime, like
Perjury.
He's the
That's
one
very
that
much.
claimed he was attacked by two
Yeah.
MAGA hat wearing like white supremacists, and they put a noose on him,
Yeah.
and he had his bag of Subway that somehow made it through the hate crime. Such an idiot. And like, everyone jumped on board. Like, freaking Biden was like, this stuff can't happen. Kamala Harris was like, he's such a good person. No one should have had that happen to them. And like, they all immediately like jumped on bandwagon with him. And today it was ruled that it was all completely a farce. He made it up, and he's convicted of faking a hate crime.
I can't look anymore.
Back on this Maxwell thing, Jess has been following
over the
this
place.
independent reporter.
That's the news, bro. It's everywhere.
What?
Well, we weren't finished with the Baldwin thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I'm just saying. Now we've got like started like 3 different things, and then we just haven't.
Yeah,
finished.
because technically we were on the Maxwell thing first,
and then we jumped to there, and then we went back, and then
we're channel surfing the news. But to finish up the Baldwin thing, so he went on to ABC. I think it was ABC.
Sorry.
He did an interview, and in the interview, he said he didn't pull the trigger. Like he's like, I didn't do it.
What?
But does he mean?
Does he mean like the gun just
metaphorically-
went off?
I think like he's in possible trouble of like serving time.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand why. If you, because you have a person who is in charge of these props.
Yeah.
He's handed the prop gun. It's not his fault that it was loaded. Like,
Safety first. I would still check it, but I grew up learning.
Yeah.
Gun safety.
You
but
always treat a gun like it's loaded.
I get that,
Yeah.
but on movie sets, you have
Yeah,
people
you're right.
who already do that for him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I don't understand why he would be in trouble for this. Like, you have people who already do that.
Wasn't he like the producer of it though? So I want to say he was still in charge. I don't know.
Yeah, but because they've already talked about the other guy too. There's legit a guy who double checks all this stuff. And that guy didn't do his job apparently, but I don't know.
Neither did Alec, apparently.
Yeah, dude.
This one, I stand on Alec Baldwin's side. I think
I stand with Alec Baldwin.
I do. He needs to walk away free and clear of this one. It was not his fault. I don't think he.
What if he planted it?
How did the
They'd have
how
to-
did the gun get loaded?
Then I'll eat my words at the end of the day. But
then
I
the
think right
justice
now it's
system.
just.
Then the justice system will
What
have
if
to
he
do
was
its
sick
job
and
and
tired
prove
of
that
that
without a
director?
reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
And that's yeah.
And he just slightly missed.
Then I'll eat my words at the end of the day if it's proven.
Like I don't know, like because it's again, we just don't know enough. We don't know enough yet about what happened. Like, I mean, how could we blame the guy whose only job is to make sure that those guns are not loaded?
Yeah,
That's his one job.
I get it.
That's the epitome of you had one job.
Yeah.
You never know.
I mean,
We'll
but it all goes-
see. Let more information come out. We can't really fully jump on it.
It comes back to Brandon Lee as well too. I mean, same thing happened there.
I don't know. There's so much turmoil. We just all need to get along and be able to actually have these conversations with each other and figure out,
No, you're wrong.
yeah,
I
exactly.
know, I'm
Okay,
curious to
last-
see what kind of comments come out.
Last Jussie Smollett headline. Mirror brought into courtroom so Jussie Smollett can face his attackers. Back to Ghislaine.
Yeah. So Jess has been following this independent reporter. Mm-hmm. She was a reporter for a big station. I don't remember which one, but she realized while she was reporting the news how heavily everything leaned.
Oh, yeah.
And she got tired of it. So she broke off, did her own thing. I don't know the name of the reporter. I've just been hearing all this from Jess.
Yeah, I was reading some of these today.
And one of them said from her was everything that happened in all the properties owned by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell was videotaped for blackmail purposes.
Yup.
So why are these tapes, some of which are confiscated by the FBI, not introduced in court? This would collaborate victim statements.
Yep.
So there's that. Also, at the same time, 1,700 significant corporate and political resignations have happened in the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
Ask yourself why that is, and that since the Ghislaine Maxwell child trafficking trial began, all these people are resigning. That's crazy.
Including Jack Dorsey of Twitter and the CEO of Walmart.
What?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
It's a sinking ship, guys. And then this picture really haunts me. It's the trial
I
of the
hate
century. And it's in quotes. And it's right outside the court doors. And it's literally no reporters,
No
just
one.
one person.
Why? It's
Well, it goes back. Sorry, go ahead.
Why is no one reporting on this?
and they say, oh, conspiracy theories and this and that. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is something being covered up about this.
It is.
Yeah.
Connect the dots.
Well,
It's
and
crazy.
the cool thing about this reporter, too, from what Jess has told me, is that because she broke off and decided to become an independent reporter, she has like some form of like a Patreon or something where people will pay, like patronage her money to pay for her flights to go and cover these things.
That's good.
Without without a filter. And so that's where this one came from. She used their money, her patrons' money, to fly to go cover this, be an on-site reporter, and she was the only one there.
Yeah.
We should link who the reporter is.
Yeah,
It's really, I was, like I said, I've been reading some of her posts just barely and talking about the thing. And there's one, I read this somewhere else, but she also talks about it, I think. So there's no video camera in there, which is weird because we just had the Kyle Rittenhouse trial.
Yeah.
And that entire thing was televised.
Yeah.
But now we have Ghislaine Maxwell, which was, again, one of the most prolific and just crazy cases. And there's no cameras in there. Like, no one can just watch this. They have sketch artists in there, like, sketching the scene. But I saw this one picture where she, like, stared down the sketch artist and sketched them while they are sketching her. Like,
it's a power play.
It's dude. It's manipulative. Jeez. It's creepy. It's a power play. Like, it was unsettling to me for some weird reason. I saw the picture of it and I was just like, this is just like unnerving.
That's
my gosh.
Woman's a freak.
That's so. There needs to be more objective journalists coming out, like
journalism.
Journalism. I mean, but yeah, because I mean, all the mainstream is a joke.
Yeah.
Fox is a joke. CNN's a joke.
It all is.
All of it.
Yeah.
You can tell the bias on both sides of it.
Yeah.
And there's no, just give us the facts of what's going on so we can.
Well, and that's why I loved, and this was years ago, Philip DeFranco. Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I loved following him because he was literally down the center.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now he's super hard left leaning.
Him and SourceFed. He had that channel SourceFed.
Yeah.
Same thing. It was just facts about news.
I want to ask him why he changed.
He derailed.
Like, why, dude? That was so awesome.
I think it's his environment.
Who bought you?
Yeah.
Who bought you? Just threatened.
Man. Any other topics? I actually wanted to ask about the Rittenhouse because I still have not had a chance to even look at it. I've wanted to.
He's innocent.
I know he's been.
He was acquitted of all charges.
Yep.
And this is so kind of what you just said about the FBI. Like, I grew up very much trusting in our law enforcement. I still trust in our policemen very much. But I am genuinely afraid of, like, the CIA and the FBI. I don't think they're on America's side necessarily. I'm sure there are good people in there. But I am afraid that too much of it is being manipulated by people in power. Because, like you said, they have the evidence. Why don't they use it?
Yeah.
Same thing happened in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial.
Yep.
They withheld the fact that they recorded the whole thing from a helicopter.
Really?
Yes. They were recording it the whole time and did not submit it to the defense. Only the prosecution
Are
had
you
it.
for real?
Yeah. Until later in the trial, they brought it forth. And the defense is like, nobody told us about this.
Well, that, and then they also had a video that was
Grainy.
it was grainy. It was presented grainy. And then when the prosecutor came out, they had an enhanced video. So it was so technically in the court of law, that's a completely different video.
Yeah.
If they enhance it and
it's not enhanced. They just got the original
They had
resolution.
the nice resolution.
You see it both ways. Yeah. So yeah, that's what it was.
Well,
so
the
defense had a defense to this, saying, okay, there's not this, and this in here. We can argue this, and this point of it. But then they bring in this video that's clear as a bell, and like, well, what about this, and this?
Yeah, because
Or
it was
vice
the
versa.
prosecution
Yes.
that had the really clear
Yes.
video. They sent it to the defense because they have to share evidence.
Yes.
And so they sent it to the defense, and it was super grainy.
Yep.
And a lot harder to see what was going on.
So they
And the
didn't have
defense thought that was the video. And so in trial it comes out, and defense basically like asked for a mistrial. They're like, they tampered with what they gave us. They gave us crap video on purpose, and they're like, no, it was the way it was compressed in the codex, and they're like, BS.
Yeah.
Like, you gave us crap video on purpose. And ultimately, last summer during the riots in Kenosha, Wisconsin, Kyle Rittenhouse and some friends went down to like basically protect their community. Like they went to this car dealership of someone they knew, and he had like a med pack on him, and he was there to give medical aid to any of the protesters or anyone really that got hurt. 17-year-old kid. So he's there. He did have his AR-15 with him.
No, he didn't. It wasn't his AR-15.
Or he had an AR-15 on
yes.
him. And but he had it with him, and there's a video of him saying like, we're out, like telling everyone what he's doing. They're like, we're out here to provide I'm a medic. I'm here to provide any medical aid for anyone that might be in trouble. I have my AR-15 with me. That's for my protection in case anything gets crazy. But and like in the middle of him explaining it, he's like, oh, someone needs help, medic. Like he goes off to like help somebody in the middle of it. Well, throughout that night, some protesters get like right up in their faces, threatened to kill him. Like one of them, was it Jeffrey Rosenbaum? He straight up threatened, like, he's like, if I get any of you alone, I'm going to kill you. Like it just started this confrontation. It was purely because they had guns essentially, and they were protecting something. And so at some point, Kyle gets separated from everyone, and this Rosenbaum guy starts chasing him down, screaming at him and stuff, and Kyle's running away. There's a video, and in the video, a shot goes off. Like somebody shoots a gun, but it's not Kyle. So a shot goes off, and he turns around and sees Rosenbaum like lunging at him for his gun, and Kyle turns and he shoots him, and he kills him, and he keeps running. So as he's running again, he's running towards the police officers too. So he's running away. More people are chasing him. Another guy comes at him with a gun. He has a pistol, points the pistol at him. Kyle turns and shoots him in the arm. And so he can't, he drops the gun and stuff. But then another guy comes to hit him with his skateboard, like in the head, like, like he's going to hit him in the head with a skateboard. He shoots that guy. That guy ends up dying. So that's why he goes to trial, is because of all this. But like right after this all happened, the media immediately started to smear him as a white supremacist. They go out and they're like, this kid went to this riot to fight against Black Lives Matter.
Protest.
They
called it a protest.
He went to this peaceful protest to looking for trouble. He killed people. He's a white supremacist. Most people who heard about him in the news thought he shot some black people.
I was just about to ask, were they black?
No, they were all white. Every single one of them.
So I'll be honest.
And Rosenbaum was a pedophile.
Really?
A repeat offender.
So I'll be honest, because I have not looked into this at all, that's all that I knew. What you just said, those last few things. I didn't know any of the prior.
Yep. And I saw stuff in the news and I was like, oh man, like I don't know what's going on. Like this looks bad, but I want more information. So I watched the trial. Yeah. I actually watched the courtroom video of him talking on the stand, of other people being prosecuted, and like the prosecution basically lost the trial for themselves because it should have never gone to court. It was clearly self-defense. He was running the whole time trying to get away. Yep. He only shot in self-defense, and he turned himself into the police.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And all the people that were after him had rap sheets. The guy, Rosenbaum, the first guy that was killed, he actually had gotten out of jail that day.
What?
Yeah.
And then he got acquitted of some of his crimes right before the trial started. But anyway, so the thing with with Rittenhouse, here's the deal. 17-year-old shouldn't have been out there with a gun. I don't give, like, that was a bad judgment call, in my opinion, to have him out there with a gun. They tried getting him on gun law or on gun charges for having a gun, but in the state, it's legal for him to have a gun above 17 inches on the barrel. Mm-hmm. So they tried getting him on that, which everything he did was legal, but it was bad judgment.
Yeah, they tried to.
It was like so bad to have.
I saw one of the laws they were trying to get is something about if it's a protest and you get in their way, then that's on you. And
that's the thing though, like it's not a protest; it was a freaking riot.
Yeah,
it was a riot.
That's crazy, man.
But,
That's crazy.
from what I saw, it was self-defense, but I just think it was a bad judgment call to have that
Oh, yeah.
17-year-old
And
kid there with the rifle, with
Yeah.
an AR rifle. So, or any gun at a,
Well, and they also,
or even there, a 17-year-old there in the middle of that crap. That's
but
a
there were
bad,
tons of them. There were.
yeah.
The other
Still.
thing was, right after it happened, they tried to claim that he crossed state lines with the gun, which he didn't. So that, like, everything the media had said was pretty much complete BS. Biden called him a white supremacist.
Oh my god.
Like,
What?
right, all these people. He actually
yeah.
has
He
grounds that
demanded
he could sue Biden.
He demanded an apology from Biden too.
Uh-huh. Like,
I hope he does.
He can sue so many people
I hope he does.
for defamation. Oh, I think he is.
I hope he does.
All those lawyers from that kid from that school. What was that one school?
Oh,
The kid that was like smiling in the face
Yeah.
of the Native American guy
Oh, yeah.
who's like now a millionaire because of
All the
he's
he's
lawsuits
basically
against CNN and New York Times and like all that
he's
stuff.
basically
or
just
it's
like
character sparing.
taking in resumes of all the lawyers
yeah.
that want to work with him.
Oh yeah, all those lawyers for that other kid are just like, hey Kyle, we can do this for you. We've already done it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's wild, dude. It's just sad. Like, I mean, I feel like we need to be informed about this stuff, but unfortunately nowadays, like, there's no way to tell what information is really good.
Yeah.
There's too much BS. You can't really trust the media anymore. It's so hard. So like, you need to just spread out and take as much information in as you can and try to make a educated decision. But
Yeah.
Future's wild.
there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and we're here to talk about it. So
Yeah.
thanks for hanging out with us, guys.
Yeah, this was a long podcast.
It was, but it's so interesting. Like, I do think it's fun to like talk about the current state of the world, and and what's going on
Yeah.
and get each other's takes on it.
Well, also, I mean, if this is the first podcast you've tuned in, I want you guys to know we are a jack of all trades here on this podcast. We talk about literally anything, everything. If this one was a little bit not of your taste, we have plenty others that definitely will be.
There's a bunch of weird ones.
A bunch of weird ones, a bunch of funny ones, a bunch of serious ones if you like the murdery podcast stuff. But
Bunch of jackholes of all trades.
yeah, this was a unique one. Anyway, I thought it was fun to talk about.
Yeah.
That was rad. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys.
Yeah.
We hope you stick around. We hope to see you next time.
Yeah, next
Thank
one's
you.
going to be a great one. Tune in later.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thanks for being part of this crowd.
Bye.